Right, gonna do a video on how to grade. Just a little disclaimer before we get into the video. I'm not amazing at grading. I can do the basics, but there's still things I need to work on. But the first thing you wanna start with when you start grading, don't start trying to learn to grade with the back of your bucket. So that's the back of your bucket. Don't grade like that. You're not supposed to grade that way. It blows the back of your bucket out eventually. It's just a bad habit that some people do, because it's a lot harder to grade on the lip of your bucket and keep it level. So people just think, oh, I can't grade good, I'm just going to use the back of the bucket, and then they form a bad habit and they just start grading off with the back of the bucket. That's not how you want to learn to grade. So also as well, another thing you need to take into account is you need to be sat level. So my tracks are pretty much level here. So when my bucket's down, it's pretty much level that. So when I'm grading, it's gonna grade level and not be on like an angle. So, and you want to start as well. It's a lot harder to grade when your arm's fully extended. Now that'll be a lot harder to control because your arm's fully extended. So just to get the hang of it, you want to start about halfway with your dipper. And just practice keeping your bucket flat. See how the lip's staying flat on the floor. Now another way is your bucket facing down. Now that's hard to grade like that. I can do it, but I'm not amazing at it. So you want to keep your bucket level. See, it'll dig in a lot easier. You've got to be a lot more fine with your hand movements when you're grading like this. And take into account as well, this is like hard crumbly clay, so there's a lot of resistance pushing on the bucket, so it's a lot easier to grade on a harder surface. If you're trying to grade something like sand, it's extremely hard to grade because it's so fine and soft. So the harder the surface, it's a bit easier to grade the harder it is. So, but I'll just start, if you're new to grading, just start with your dipper halfway out. Instead of trying to go all the way, like that, it might be a little bit hard if you're new. So just start halfway and just keep that lip flat, not the bucket. Yeah, that's the back of my bucket, that. You want that lip on the floor. As long as that lip's touching, the back of the bucket will not be touching the ground. And then just move back a bit, we'll grade a bit. Have your traction slow as well. Now you can see one track where I graded there, one track is slightly tilting to the right because you can see the gap on the left of the bucket. Doesn't matter, I'm just saying if you were grading and it had to be bang on, you need to be really level, but for what we're doing, it doesn't matter. It'll still look level to the eye. Back a little bit. I'll grade with the bucket directly down. Right, I'm level, yeah, I'm level here. Now grading like this is the hard one. This is the hardest style of grading, but on some jobs you have to grade, depending on what you're doing and what you're grading and the job itself. This is the best way to grade, but it's the hardest. But because this ground's hard, it's not as hard to do. But like I say, if you were trying to grade some like soft mud or something, well, not mud, but some soft ground or something, it would want to dig in. If you're not bang on with your movements with each joystick, it would just want to dig in. So I tend to grade like this a lot. So just, obviously you always have your ditcher on to grade. You don't grade with anything else other than a ditcher. So when you have time on site, just have a go at just like shaping the ground up to making it nice and neat. Was digging in at the back, but I was coming towards the machine. He was digging in a little bit because the ground was slightly higher, but now that's all the same level, that. So I can keep me lip on the ground and it should be level all the way across. Now I'll move across. Right, I'll grade bucket facing fully down now, all the way back. I like to overlap the left side of my bucket on the side that's been graded, or vice versa if it's the right side I've graded first. Just so you can see, it just gives you just a bit more of a rough estimate, but because the arm's fully extended now, it'll be a lot harder for me to keep it neat all the way back, but it'll come up a lot because you won't want to go too deep, so it'll naturally want to come up because you won't be putting enough pressure to keep it down. But as it comes closer, it gets easier. The closer it is to the machine, the easier it is to control. The further away, the harder it is to control. I mean, that's fairly level, that. I mean, if you want to get a GPS stick out and stuff, then yeah, it'll be a little bit off, but it's like I was saying before, when you're grading, I'm not level here. You want the lip like that on the ground. You don't want the back of your bucket. So don't grade like that. You want to grade the lip of your bucket at all times. Or bucket facing down, blade directly vertical. See, there's bits of brick and stuff and metal in this ground, so it is going to throw you off. But that's the gist of it anyway. So either grade like that, so the back of the bucket isn't touching, or directly down vertical. But that way is the harder way. So just start learning to grade with the lip of your bucket on the floor. Just thought I'll touch up on this as well. I mean, if you're sealing up or just like smoothing the ground over just to like tidy everything up, you can use the back of your bucket. Like, it doesn't really matter. So like, I mean, say I were just gonna smooth this ground off here. You don't have to be perfect with your blade down. You can just skim it, and your back of your bucket will scrape the floor. It doesn't matter if you're just like sealing up or just like neatening the ground up. But when it comes to like proper grading, like stone or like clay or whatever, just try and stay off the back of your bucket. Like now, just skimming the ground and stuff and just having just like a tidy up on site doesn't really matter. Just don't get into a bad habit of grading with the back of your bucket. But anything like neatening up or like sealing up, it doesn't really matter. Like, if I was to say, if this was a pile here and I were just trying to seal it up, you'll press it with the back of your bucket and then just like give it just like a smooth off. That's fine. You're just tidying up, sealing up. So don't think you have to be on your blade at all times, but you know, just when you're actually proper grading, just don't get into the habit of using the back of your bucket. Like now, I'll just be sealing up and stuff, just like tidying up. The back of the bucket will skim the ground. Like, I'm not constantly on my blade because I'm only just neatening up the ground, just tidying up and stuff. But yeah, that's that anyway. Just thought I'll do another little video on it in case the first video seemed a little bit too strict. See, back of the bucket's touching then, but I'm sealing up, I'm keeping it nice and smooth, the ground, so it's not too bad. If it's soft ground, like mud or really wet stuff, yeah, it doesn't really matter about the back of your bucket. But just if you want to get good at grading, just don't fall into the habit of using the back of your bucket on hard ground. But yeah, that's that anyway. I'm just gonna have a little neaten up. Well, there's not much to do. just smooth the ground over and stuff, just make it look tidy. Something to do for an hour.